Hi all, Losdy Punch Out TV. Hope you're all well out there. Hope you're all feeling good on this Thursday evening. Thought I'd bring it back just for this one time and this one time only. CRIMEWATCH UK for the crimes committed in boxing. So this is just a one-off, but let's get into it. See which bellends are on the board today for this month's crimes in boxing. I had to do this one because there's been so many crimes committed. So it's the end of the month. Let's have a look who we've got. First at number 4, the one and only, the biggest arse sniffer, the biggest panty sniffer, none other than the tosspot himself, the reject version of Bono from U2, the Poundland version of Bono from U2. The one and only Gareth Arse Sniffer Davies. This clown will do absolutely anything to bend over backwards to get in bed with Tyson Fury. When confronted and asked in an interview about John Fury's behaviour, he came out and said he doesn't condone it, but it's who John is. He's a fighting man, and that's what fighting men do. They're from the fighting background. He's a fighting man, and it's in his blood. Absolute fucking weapon. Absolute weapon. He's that slimy, he's that seedy that he wishes that he was Paris Fury. He'll do anything to get in bed with Fury. Then, after the Alexander Usyk Tyson Fury fight, the guy comes out on, I think it was TalkSport, when he was doing it, when he was covering the fight, he said it was hard for him to score that fight because the fight was so close. Honestly, this guy is that far up Tyson Fury's ring piece. He's tickling his tonsils. He's tickling Tyson's tonsils. He's got his tongue that far up Fury's rectum. So Gareth Arsehole Sniffer Davies, do us all a favour and piss off and get the fuck out of boxing, because you don't ask proper questions. All you do is rim, just like you did when you did that to Conor Benn and you got the mic slapped out of your hand. Straight after, you started rimming. So Gareth Arsehole Davies, take a seat. Number 3. Well, what haven't we said about this man? What we already know about him. One and only Bricktop, aka Fish Eyes. Fish Eyes did an interview on TalkSport a couple of days after the Alexander Usyk fight and was still crying about Adam Cattrall and the remarks what he made about Tyson Fury serving us up warm beer fights. Instead of champagne, we were getting Prosecco. Still crying about that. But also on this interview, he was crying and basically sticking up for Tyson Fury after the stupid remark that he made about the only reason Alexander Usyk got a decision was because his country is at war with Russia. He was on TalkSport defending him. Oh, he's bipolar, he doesn't know what he's saying. And when Simon Jordan asked him, just because he's bipolar, does this mean that we all have to accept what Tyson says and his behaviour and the way how the man treats people and is forever just bad-mouthing people? Does this mean that we have to condone that? And Bricktop got his knickers in a twist and spat his dummy out. So Bricktop, you're just a wanker. There's nothing really much more can say about you. You'll stoop that low to use the excuses that your brother was bipolar and he committed suicide, which that's unfortunate and nobody wants that to happen to him. But Bricktop, just because the guy's bipolar doesn't mean, like Simon Jordan said, that we have to condone this behaviour. So Bricktop, Go and take a seat somewhere, kiddo. Go and take a seat. And then at number 2, well, if he isn't the biggest con man in the sport of boxing, the man that blatantly ducked Alexander Usyk for 2 years, trying to age him out, moving the goalposts all the time, being greedy, asking for too much money, giving his fans, like I said before, lukewarm beer fights that no fucker wanted to see, but his little nuthuggers still sticking up for him. The Tyson Fury fans still sticking up for him. The guy come out and said he doesn't care about fans. He doesn't care what people think about him. He doesn't care as long as he's making money. Well, for all the shenanigans and all skullduggery behaviour that Tyson Fury has caused over the last couple of years to a run middleweight, he got bounced all over that ring in round 9, got found out, got exposed that he's not the greatest man of all times to wear a pair of gloves, got bounced up and down that ring, got knocked up and down that all over that ring like a tennis ball at the French Open. When he was sliding down them ropes, fucking pissy. It was like me trying to find me bed on a Friday night after 12 cans of fucking Heineken. He was all over the show, pissed up, Bambi-legged. The referee saved him in round 9. Anyway, for all the skullduggery behaviour, all the name calling, all the ducking, all the ripping off of the fans with the Ngannou fight, the Derek Chisora fights, your time as a champion is now over. There's a new sheriff in town, and his name's Alexander the Great Usyk. He was a middleweight who you said, run rabbit run, and he ran you right over. Give you a good arse whooping and sent you packing. Now you're on the run. Now the shoe's on the other foot. Now you're on the run. Hopefully we'll never see you again, but I'm sure you'll be back. So Tyson Fury, do us all a favour, mate. Go and sit your arse down somewhere, because your game is over. And last but not least, who have we got? Well, it's that vegetable. It's that vegetable that nobody wants on their Sunday roast. It's that vegetable what can turn vegetarians back into meat eaters. It's none other than John Turniphead Fury, aka Turnip Tits. This absolute fucking prick, this absolute fucking unhinged fucking fantasies fucking moron nearly cost us Undisputed because he's that starved. He's that starved of the limelight. He's that starved of being in the stars and on the camera and everyone talking about him. Because no one gives a shit about him, he decided somehow, first of all, wormed his way into the camp. Got himself into the camp. Then the fucking bellend decides to go and stick his turnip on one of Alexander Usyk's team members. But he did it very slyly. He has a bit of an altercation with a big fella. Doesn't say anything. Walks off. Then decides to fucking headbutt the smallest guy on the team. But the fucking plank only went and come off worse, didn't he? Calm as a bitch. Ends up splitting his wig. Then he's shouting, "It's in me blood, it's in me blood, I'm a fighting man, I love it, it's from my head to my toes. I was born to do this." Yet there's no video footage and no photograph evidence of this guy ever having a bare knuckle fight. The only evidence is him getting starched off Henry Hocking Wonder and a few other fighters and gouging out a little 9-stone guy's eyes all over a pint. This bellend nearly cost us Undisputed. What planet this guy comes off, I don't know. But whatever fantasies island or fantasies what this guy has in his head about him being a fighting man, the toughest man in the world, with his begging bowl out, begging for fights with Mike Tyson and humping the air and throwing tables over and punching perspex what was about as thin as a first class stamp when you could have just blown on it and it'd have fell down at KSI. This guy is a fucking absolute weapon. He's an absolute weapon. At every show, what his sons do, in the ring, taking his top off, telling lies saying he does 10k runs every day, yet he's got turnip tits, swinging his tits around in the ring, shouting, come on, come on. Then he comes out with the greatest saying, no man will ever beat his son. His son's the greatest fighter to ever live, and lace up a pair of gloves. John Fury, fuck off. No one ever wants to see you again. You're a natural disaster waiting to happen. You're a bully. You're a fantasist. You're a fucking crankpot who needs help. Someone ought to lock this guy up, take him to Broadmoor and fuck him off. Now that his son's been beat, hopefully we'll never see you again. So John Fury, go and take a sit. Go and sit your fucking ass down somewhere and piss off for nearly costing us Undisputed. And that just about wraps it up for this one-off series of crimes committed in boxing. The 4 fucking stooges, the 4 bellends up on the board, all linked in together. Oh, I forgot about him of his over-shouting Sugar Hill, but we all know about that. The guy's a prick. Don't want to ever see him again. He's a fucking bully, an absolute dickhead. So that concludes this month's episode of CRIMEWATCH UK. And as my brother from another mother used to say, tell him, Nick, tell him.
In the meantime, don't have nightmares. Do please sleep well. Good night.
Good night.